Hello, beautiful awakened souls, and welcome to another episode of the Awakened Souls podcast. I am your host, Devin Brown, Kundalini activator, spiritual guide, and just overall, hopefully, a very good sense of entertainment for you. Tomorrow, we enter August 8th, 8/8. It is the highest peak of the Lionsgate portal. It is a time when manifesting is going to be so easy. And I don't know if you guys have noticed anything over the past week or past 2 weeks, like as you have manifested, as you have thought things, suddenly, boom, they're there. I'll give a couple examples, which I find hilarious. I saw this really cute TikTok video of a skunk, and this woman found these baby skunks and was rescuing these baby skunks. And I realized I have like foxes in my backyard. We have a possum. We have a raccoon. Never seen any skunks. And I'm just like, it would be so cute to see like little baby skunks in my yard. 2 days later, my neighbor sends me this video from her Ring camera, and it is a skunk in my backyard. Just hanging out, walking across. Like, her camera points into both of our backyards, and as it gets like further into mine, like it disappears like into the darkness. And I had to laugh because I was like, oh my gosh, is that the first time you guys have seen it? And she said, I've lived here 23 years. I've never seen a skunk before. This is the first. And I knew it was my lovely manifestation efforts. Well, then it's little things, like the simplest little things that I have thought, like, man, I really wish this client of mine could come in earlier, but I don't want to inconvenience them and text them, so I'll just wait. And the next thing I know, the client texts me, hey, any chance I can come in earlier? Or there was once I bought, one of my kids wanted an icy, and they said they were done. There was so much left. I was like, well, I don't want to just throw this in the trash. I should go ahead and just dump it out. But I'll do it later. I'll do it on the way out. Well, then a kid's running by my slushie and then accidentally knocks it over with their toy. Literally 2 minutes after I thought this, knocks it over, it dumps out on the ground, and I'm like, okay, well, there we are. And it's things like this that are just happening left and right. And it is from the biggest things to the littlest things, from wanting some extra finances that thankfully got pushed my way through clients who suddenly had to get in and really wanted to see me immediately. Like, of course, I worked for it, but it was still extra income that I wasn't expecting that week. Things like that. And so, guys, pay attention to what you are noticing and what you are seeing manifesting. So this episode is going to be focused on energy manifestation and what energies really do for us and what they do as we move forward. So my book is coming out in the fall. Actually had a meeting with my editor. I already met with my creative director. We have a good idea, a good general idea for the book cover. We have a great idea for like how we want to do my genre, going into the fact that it's a memoir, but it's also like spiritually inclined. It's part self-help. It's all these things. So we were figuring out what genre that we needed to put this in because it doesn't fall into one particular space. And all of this. But one of the things that my book talks about is I channel a message from one of our Pleiadians. I think it's the Pleiadian Star Mother. And it is a matter of learning to dance with the energies. We feel these portals. We feel these energies shifting. And when we're not aware of how to just dance with them, we can be overwhelmed by them. But also when we are expecting them to overwhelm us, they do, because we're manifesting that into our lives. So one of the things we need to do and we need to pay attention to is allowing the energies to come and how to dance with the energies. And this was a message from the Star Mother about like learning how to literally just flow and how to just be, because that's who we once were. Like, we were affected by these energies now that we're here on Earth because we are not we're contained almost in these little meat suits, you know, but when we're out there in the stars and we're out there as our source and as like the entities that we actually are, we are not fully connected and not fully affected in the same way that we are when we are here on Earth space. So that being said, learning to dance with the energies, what does that mean? It means, one, not manifesting chaos and craziness. Oh no, Mercury's in retrograde, we all have to freak out. Like, no, we can recognize that we're off. We can recognize that our body is not in alignment, but then we can choose what we're going to do with that vibration. Okay, I feel chaotic, so I'm going to act chaotic. I feel chaotic, so I'm going to embrace chaotic. Or we can say, okay, I feel chaotic, but that is not what I want to feel. So what does my body need in order to rest and in order to dance with this energy? And it's a matter of listening intuitively to what our bodies are telling us, because all the answers are already inside of us. Some of us need to rest. Some of us need to move our bodies. Some of us need to do extra meditation. Some of us need to maybe speak our truth. Some of us need to reach out to somebody about a particular subject. Like, we all need to listen to the very smallest little like noise and the very smallest little inkling of thought that is coming. And I think one of the things that I found when you're starting your spiritual journey, your guides kind of scream at you a little bit and their voice is very loud. But then the further you get along it and you just become one and you just recognize the law of one, like everything I do to other people not only affects me, but it affects them in a way because it's affecting me. And everything I do to somebody else ultimately will come back to me. And it's not karma. I'm not talking about do something bad and having it come back to you. Talked about this in my last episode, but it's a matter of just resting in who we are, resting in where we go, resting in what brings us peace. And by doing that, even if it's speaking out on something, even if it's setting boundaries, whatever it is, even if it's uncomfortable, if it's bringing us peace, then you can know that you are operating in the law of one. And when we are looking at such a big energy shift like this Lion Gates portal and everything opening up in the way that it is, like, we already in the past couple months blooped into like a different dimension. And so blooping into this different dimension put everybody kind of in their own parallel space. I'm trying really hard to think how to translate this into English words, because you guys have to understand I'm speaking from my highest self. I'm speaking from my starseed background and from the things that I know and the things that I just inherently know are true, but also have found to be true just through my own practices. So as we kind of blooped into like 2 or 3 dimensions over, we have like these lines, these energy shifts, these parallel lines that are all running and operating side by side. We still might have the same people in our lives. We still might have the same situations in our lives, but yet they're not the same. We now get to choose, especially going into this Lion Gates portal, how we want to operate our lives and how we want to move our lives forward. We get to decide, I want to live a life of joy, happiness, and peace. I want to live a life of wealth. I want to live a life of this, that, and the other. But if the things don't align together, they're not necessarily going to be manifested. Let me give an example. Let me say I want to live a life of peace. I want to live a life of tranquility. I want to be a billionaire. But if being a billionaire is not going to help me live a life of peace and tranquility, then I'm not going to necessarily manifest both in this time frame. It's a matter of what your highest self knows is meant for you. And sometimes it can be both. Sometimes it can be all of it. But that being said, as you're moving forward, you have these parallel timelines going with these people who are in your lives. We are beginning, as this Lion Gates portal closes, having an energetic field come in between you and the people around you, and it is going to solidify. It is going to kind of take things and put them into a place where if somebody is speaking negative, if somebody is speaking against you, those things are not going to affect you anymore. Like as the portals begin to close, the energetic space between you and the people around you, as they solidify, it's going to think of it like a protection of peace, if that is what you are intending for yourself, if that is what you are focusing on yourself. Now, with that, there is free will. So let's say that you're in a chaotic environment, you're in an unsafe environment, you're in an environment that you really cannot reach the place that you want to be. You are entering this Lion Gates portal and you really want to claim peace. You want to claim freedom. You want to claim whatever it is. But if you are not making choices that align with what you want to manifest, you are self-sabotaging yourself, and you need to stop and take responsibility for that. And it's easy to say, well, just stop self-sabotaging yourself. Just go forward and just move forward. But like, I understand that is way easier said than done. I get it. I totally 100% understand. But I also think there is so much power when it comes to understanding our responsibility and taking that responsibility on. So as we move forward and as we begin to manifest what we want in our lives, we begin to work towards the energetic parallel that we want. We begin to go with our highest timeline and go with our highest self. We're going to see the very vibration of Earth begin to shift. And this is very important when I speak like the direction for this next part. It is so easy to get distracted from what is actually going on. There are beings in play that do not want you to wake up. There are beings and entities and spirits in play that feed on the darkness. They do not want you to remember who you are. They do not want you manifesting yourself into the highest timeline. They do not want you doing this. And so they want you to stay distracted. They want you to mindlessly scroll on your phone. They want you to watch the news and see all the bad things instead of stopping and looking around your neighborhood and your immediate vicinity and seeing the good things. Because if every single one of us stopped and stayed in our sphere and stayed in like where we are currently and the people that we can affect and the change that we can affect and thought of it through a positive lens, if every single person did that, think how different this world would be. Instead, we see something negative and we easily talk about it. We see something negative and we easily throw that towards the next person and just start this catalyst and this chain reaction of low vibration waves, essentially. And so you get to decide, do you want that in your life? And one of the things I found helpful, like for those of you who do not know, I also own a hair salon. I have been doing hair for like 13, 14 years. And as I began transitioning away from doing hair into the energy work and away from, and I'm still doing hair, like, but as I began to transition my focus and my passion, I realized the more I healed, the less I liked small talk. And when you're in this industry, small talk is almost expected. It's almost wanted in order to make the other person feel comfortable, have like that healthy banter, so to speak. But the problem is it's not healthy. It's not necessarily good. I have learned that I don't need to fill the silence just because I'm uncomfortable. I have learned how to sit in my discomfort. I have also learned, and I fail many times, I'm not going to lie, but one of the things I try to do when I sit down with a client or even somebody new is say, why do I want to tell this story? And look at the energy, like look at the reason I feel like I want to tell the story so I can understand kind of like where it's coming from. Is it coming from a place of love? Is it coming from a place of self-hatred or self-doubt? Is it coming from a place where I want to get attention? And I don't need any of that energy in my life anymore. I don't need any of that focus in my life. And I think some of us can attest to this and understand this. Some of the best relationships you can have are when you can sit quietly with someone and you don't feel the need to fill the silence. I do think it's hilarious. My partner likes to tell me whenever I'm quiet, he likes to ask me what's wrong. And that is because I'm a talker. I'm a storyteller. And as I began to like really learn not to fill the silence, it made him a little uncomfortable at first. It made him feel a little bit like something was wrong. And sometimes there is, but I think he's gotten to a point he can read my energy pretty well. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the silent treatment, sit there and stew or anything like that. What I'm talking about is being comfortable not having something to worry about, being comfortable living a life of peace. And I can tell you guys, when you go from a chaotic life into a life of peace, it can get boring and your body doesn't quite know how to react at first. And I know, like for myself, like one of the things that I found, as much as I got myself to a place of safety and I got myself regulated and I got myself off and out of that fight or flight that I didn't even realize that I was in, I still had moments where I felt a little chaotic. I felt a little like I needed something negative to focus on or something frustrating to talk about. And I don't need that. Like, I really don't. Why do I need that? because other people are bored or because I'm bored. Like, that's not a positive energy. That's not an energy I want to stay in. That's not an energy I want to manifest into my life. So tomorrow, find your joy, laugh as much as you can, watch what you put into your body. Make sure it is just things that are sensual and fun and beautiful. And sensual does not have to be sexual. A lot of people hear the word sensual and they immediately think like, oh, like, you know, sex magic or sex toys or whatever it is. No, sensual is anything that brings pleasure to your body. Sensual is anything that causes you to feel a sense of joy and a sense of peace and a sense of tranquility. Focus on what brings you joy tomorrow. Focus on the sensations that are around you. Listen to the birds, go outside, put your feet in the grass, connect with Gaia, connect with Mother. Like, just know that she is there to meet with you exactly where you are and to pour into you. I really have created a life for myself that I don't ever feel like I need a vacation from. Don't get me wrong. I take plenty of them. I do a lot of grid work across the country. Like, I travel a lot. I do energy work pretty much everywhere I go. Like, I just love to travel. However, I have a life of peace. I have a life of safety. I have a life of tranquility. And that is what you can manifest for yourself. That is what you can pull into yourself right now as you move forward and as you go into this next week. Like, and you're going to notice the difference in the people who align with you spiritually, if you're making soul aligned decisions, and those who don't necessarily need to be a part of your life anymore. Like, you're going to see a difference in the reactions with each other, in the, I'm trying to think of the word, in the way that you respond to each other, but also in the way that you reach out to each other, the interests that you have, the things that you want to move forward. And I can tell you guys, like, it is okay to change friendships. It is okay to change partnerships. It is okay to change jobs. It is okay to change careers. It is okay to change your mind. Changing your mind is actually a sign of a healthy person. Changing your mind is actually a sign of someone who says, I am looking out for what I need in this moment. I'm looking out for my best interest, and I am going to make choices that align with something that brings me peace. Because when you are at peace, other people are able to be at peace. When you are not at peace, you can create chaos and you can create anxiety, and it can create havoc in your life. And so it's all about just finding your peace, finding your joy as you move forward. That being said, as the portal begins to close, we are going to feel a lot more peace. We're going to feel a lot more just deep love for ourselves, compassion for where we are, compassion for where we came from, compassion for those who wronged us, understanding that where they came from was a place of hurt themselves. It doesn't mean forgive and forget. That is not what I'm saying, but you're going to notice your mind shifting a little bit and recognizing that, you know what, this hatred I'm holding on for them, this anger that I'm holding on for them, this frustration that I'm holding on for them does no good, because they get to choose what energy they want to work in. I get to choose what energy I want to work in. So therefore, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to move forward in a place of peace. I'm going to move forward in a place of understanding. I'm going to move forward in a place that brings just complete positivity and joy to myself. And in doing so, as you let go of those lower vibrations, as you let go of those things that no longer serve you, you're going to notice how different you feel, how different you speak. Your voice might begin to change. The way you speak might begin to change. You might hate small talk, which is what I was talking about before. Don't really like small talk very much anymore. I love having conversations with people that I've gotten to know. I love having conversations with people that I consider friends, but small talk with strangers, it just holds no interest for me whatsoever. And that is very, very different than who I was so many years ago. But I'm okay with that. Honestly, 100% okay with that. Now, there are some people who I'm drawn to their energy and I want to hear their story. I want to get to know them. But like, it doesn't happen nearly as often as it did before when I was just looking for external validation through other people. So that being said, going into tomorrow, go into it with a beautiful, beautiful mindset, knowing that you are enough. And I actually heard a channel text from Bashar that said, before you go to bed at night, maybe 3 times, say, I am me, and that is enough. And I think that's beautiful. Or I am who I am, and that is enough. Or I am Devin, and that is enough. Put your name in there. Like, you are enough exactly as you are. And remember that. Never let anybody else make you feel like you aren't. And go out there, manifest and create the very life that you want. That being said, we're going to segue a little bit into an advertisement for self. My Quantum Circle is open. I have lowered the price. It is now less than $40 a month. That is a Monday weekly tarot reading, and we're doing a intuitive collective tarot reading now, where I pull out my decks, I flip through them, and then any of the ones that glow white for me I know are to be pulled for that day, and I pull it and I give the message for what it is. Then on top of that weekly tarot reading, you get an energy updates as they come through the month. But even when they don't come through the month, you get to have on the 21st of the month, going into the next month and the next several weeks, I give like a big energy update on what it is we're looking at facing. And then we do a meditative healing Reiki session where I'm uploading it MP3 versus video from here on out. And that is going to prepare you to dance with the energies, prepare you to move with the energies, prepare you to just flow with the energies. You also get access to my Billionaire Mindset, Changing Your Ideas Around Money MP3. This is a very, very, very powerful hypnosis on money management and changing money, changing your ideas around money and manifesting it into your life. So you get access to all of those. The Kundalini Activation Program is coming out this fall. Thinking around September, October, probably closer to October. It is going to be a monthly membership that actually includes everything that the Quantum Circle has, but it's going to be 12 MP3s along with journal prompts, along with a collective like group together, either on Facebook or Discord, where people can like share ideas, talk to each other, everything. It's going to come out with a little PDF, a welcome letter, along with little bit of guidance in how to heal from month to month basis. And then just in general, you have the community, you have everything. That can be a monthly membership, or you can purchase everything outright for the entire program, which is how to have your Kundalini awakening. I'm actually going to be talking about that next week, going into what the program actually is, what it offers, and how it might benefit you, and if it's something that you are interested in. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. As always, just know that all the answers that you need are on the inside of you. And I wish you a very, very happy week, and enjoy tomorrow.